ABC again with Barry Melrose and Chris Simpson. Mike Emmerich from Madison Square Garden. No score in this game. Only a couple of shots apiece. No eventful plays as of yet. If the standings don't change 6 weeks from tomorrow, this is a first-round playoff matchup. It goes back wonderfully in history. The #1 Flyers right now against a team that's currently tied with Montreal for 8th in the Eastern Conference, the New York Rangers. Rangers have won only 2 of their last 8 games, but it's been just the reverse for Philadelphia, not just recently, but virtually all year long. Eric Lindros is tossed over to Michael Groshek. Thrown in front, and it went off the back of Groshek on a deflection that came from Michael York. Back now comes Desjardins, leaving it on back for Chris Therien for the Flyers defense. Big defenseman out of Providence College wound it back in. Mike Richter in goal for the Rangers and Roman Czechmonic for Philadelphia.
Mike, I think we both agree that the Rangers have looked very nervous early in the game, not really aggressive, not really confident, and that doesn't surprise us. They've lost the first 2 games since coming back from the Olympic break, so they need something positive early to get into this game, a goal or a big hit or something for the Rangers.
Matthew Barnaby tried one just a moment ago across the way on Kim Janssen. Janssen, an ex-Ranger. Barnaby, the ex of several teams, moves in and then gets a nice pass across and a shot that was robbed by Czechmonic from Andreas Johansson.
Well, Roman Czechmonic, a lot of people think he's the Achilles heel of this great Flyers team, but his numbers are as good as anybody in hockey. Right here's the turnover. You can't have happen near your blue line. Barnaby makes a nice little drop pass, but Czechmonic is out. He's very aggressive, and he makes that great glove save, but you cannot have a turnover near your blue line. That's a cardinal sin for hockey clubs. Let's look at Big Czechmonic, his numbers this year. Again, look at that. Save percentage as good as anybody. 4 shutouts already, and he's only given up 5 goals in his last 4 games. So he's getting the job done in that Flyer net.
Another number that's not really bad for that goaltender, 31 years of age today.
No, he can play a lot of years yet. Goaltenders can play until they're 40. Mike Richter is playing great at his age already, so age is not a big factor for goaltenders. They're never in shape anyway, so you never get out of shape when you're never in shape.
What?
What goaltenders
nice
are
guy. Well, here's Czechmonic, dreadfully out of shape, handing it around.
I didn't say dreadfully.
Oh, okay. Handing it to Janssen and then work back ahead. Oh, is the Union going to get you?
Cardiovascular, they're not superior athletes. Let's put it that way. Mike Richter is. Mike Richter is as good a shape as anybody on the team.
Well, you're backpedaling well.
I'm treading water over my head, man. Get me out of here.
Luke Richardson for Philadelphia's defense. Much improved at that position, too, back to Kim Janssen. Flyers' defense is 3rd best in the league out of 30 teams, and the offense is, too. I think Bill Barber would only change the power play right now, which has dropped off, but penalty killing has been splendid. We are in a scoreless situation midway in the first.
The NHL on ABC, brought to you by Labatt Blue, imported from Canada. Look up Sea Blue. Subaru, full-time all-wheel drive for full-time adventure. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive. And Southwest Airlines, official airline of the National Hockey League.
Under the fan-shaped roof of Madison Square Garden, an offensive zone face-off for the New York Rangers results in a little jostling on Dvorak in the corner. Working on him and nubbing it free was Keith Primo, and scurrying back to get it is Theo Fleury for the Rangers. Pulls away from one and flipped one ahead that's grabbed off by Primo. Big drive and a save made by Richter. Rebound picked up by Dvorak, but he's crunched to the boards by John LeClair. Pretty good hit came from Mark Recchi on Nedved, who responds with a hook of the stick. The bouncer goes back in and twisting with it, but leaving it behind was Sylvain Lefebvre. 2 aside, battle the corner. Puck came back over to Primo, tried to reach John LeClair with a pass, but it kicked over for the Rangers to bring it back up. Peter Nedved lobs it back on the wing for Fleury. Forehander just kicked right back away, and the Rangers retreat to play.
And really, the only way the Rangers are going to win this game is Mike Richter has to be first star in MVP. He's already had 3 point-blank shots because of turnovers in the Rangers zone, so he's going to have to be awesome.
Here comes Jeremy Roenick. Roenick sent one in front that went off a skate. Mike York banged it to the point. Therien a shot, and that one is held by Richter.
Well, one of the problems with the New York Rangers, and one of the best things about the Philadelphia Flyers, as we see big Chris Therien, is the Flyers score often in the first period, are usually leading after the first period. ranked second in the NHL. The Rangers are usually behind in the first period, always playing catch-up, tied for 28th in the NHL. That is one of the problems when you're always playing catch-up. You have to change your style, you have to be attacking, you have to take chances, and that usually ends up hurting you for goals against also. So the Flyers do not play from ahead very often, or the Rangers, I'm sorry.
A former Flyer, Eric Lindros, on this face-off. Knifed it around behind, but it kicked right back for Simon Gagne to hand over to Justin Williams. Williams gets to the slot with it and shot one that's fought off by Richter and cleared back down. Well, when you see Gagne and Williams out, it's just amazing.
2 first-round picks by the Flyers in consecutive years, but late first-round picks. I think 20, 25 around there. When you can get players that can play, and especially a guy like Gagne, he's going to be a star in the NHL. That late in the first round, your scouting staff has done a good job. Right off the bat, you've seen the Flyers get goal-scoring chances. This is a game where Eric Lindros, and you see Keith Primo being talked to by Billy Barber there. Primo must be the guy that sets a tone, or Lindros must be the guy that sets a tone for the Rangers. He's big, he's strong. This is sort of a personal match against his team that traded him here. So Eric's got to be the leader now, especially with Messier out with a shoulder surgery yesterday.
Well, he's out there right now opposite Roenick from that faceoff that the Rangers are able to help back ahead to Brian Leach. Leach dropped it off for Lindros, flipped it on through for Leach. Leach chipped it around behind, and Michael York had it knifed off his stick. Brought back ahead by Gagne, but his pass was errant and off Lindros' stick, and he's just able to jab it back in. Marion rammed to the boards hard by Michael Groshek, who just came in from Hartford. Let's check in with the third member of our crew this afternoon, Chris Simpson. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Well, you know, it might not be a huge surprise that the Flyers hired him on December 17th. The Flyers have played over 700 hockey. Now, if that doesn't surprise you, this little quick fact might. Apparently, Donald is not only a tough guy, but pretty good at playing the piano as well.
Man, she better look than Dave Strader. What a trade we made.
And playing the piano, Donald Brashear playing the piano. Centering pass in front is kicked aside.
No one's going to say you stink, Donald, at the piano, are they?
No. No, and he can play as long as he wants to. What a healthy hit that came from Tomas Klochek. And that one was on Ruslan Fedotenko, who drops it around behind.
Rangers needed that. They needed some energy in this building. Get the fans on their side again.
Well, Brashear is out there. Puck handed on back now to Klochek. And it has caused just a buzz to go through the Garden now, something that, as Barry mentioned, they really need.
Well, he knows his job. He knows his team just got ran over. He knows that he's got to go out and change the tone back to the Philly favor, the way they had in most of this game. He's a scary individual. He's tough. He's a good player. He played an unbelievable game Thursday night against the New Jersey Devils. That 1-0 win for the Flyers.
Ahead comes Brian Berard. That one went sailing into the seats where a lot of fans have hockey sticks on a giveaway promotion. They have them in the seats here today. Next Saturday, the NHL on ABC returns with 3
trade wins last season for the New York Rangers was Kluchek. But they never wanted to trade this guy because of this factor. He's huge. He's 6'3", he's 220. He's only 23 years old, 22 years old. Best years are ahead of him, and he can play like that, and he must play like that. The Rangers do not have a huge team. Guys like Kluchek, Lindros, players like that must apply the physical leadership.
Puck poked right back ahead. Marty Murray tries to get on with it and cannot. It's laid on by Malhotra, but taken by Dan McGillis. The veteran Rick Tocchet is out playing in his 3rd game this season with Marty Murray as his centerman. He was recalling today in his first game in 1984, his center and opposite winger were Ron and Rich Sutter, the twins. This is lobbed right back ahead, but into a glove, a little extra collision, a little chatter, and that we expect.
Well, there's Rick Tocchet. He played for me in Los Angeles. If he wouldn't have got hurt my final year, I think I could still be coaching in this league. Awesome competitor. He's a leader in that dressing room. And this time of the year, and again, the Rangers' goal is to make the playoffs. The Flyers' goal is to win the Stanley Cup. So you never have enough guys like Rick Tocchet. That's why Brashear was such a great addition. He's a leader in that dressing room. Guys like Primo, you got Leclerc. This team's built to take a run at the Stanley Cup.
His dad, Nat Tocchet, is retired now, a mechanic in Toronto, but he specialized and has for years in making bottles of wine. When Terry Crisp was coaching Rick at Sault Ste. Marie, he used to put a couple of bottles on long bus rides for the coach to have only. Rick said, it got me on the power play and kept me there. I don't know if you got any in LA or not.
No, but that last year I could have used some, I can guarantee you.
before or
Listen,
after?
he is one tough guy. He's got over 3,000 penalty minutes. You look at that. Goals, if he wouldn't have been hurt, he'd easily be over 500 goals. And the reason he scores is he's tenacious, he's brave, and people don't like to check him in front of that net. So he used to get a little bit more room than other people in front of that net with his size. One of the best fighters ever in the NHL. He was a scary guy to play against.
You miss the orange jerseys?
Yeah, I do miss the orange jerseys. Because they used to instill a lot of fear in people in the old orange jerseys. The black's nice, though. I'm a big black jersey guy. I like black jerseys, but the orange were special.
Puck fired right back around and taken by Dvorak. Radek Dvorak gave it behind, and so the Rangers now at the halfway point of the first period. They've been outshot, but by the narrow margin of 5-4. The hustle down for the icing touch-up, and it is touched. We'll ask Barry later if he agrees with that rule. 9:54 left in the first, no score.
Like every super.
Mr. Bill Barber, since December 1st, his team's been the best team in the NHL. Ron Lowe is just trying to find a way to get this team playing well. They've lost 2 games since the Olympics break ended. They're not playing well. They've been shut out last game at home here. So they're just trying to get something positive happening. So Ron Lowe, Ranger coach, has a lot of pressure on him here in this city right now, Mike.
The matchup for the faceoff is Nedved now against Keith Primo. Sylvain Lefebvre matched up with Brian Berard. Nedved as well as Fleury and Dvorak. Flyers counter with Primo, Leclerc, and Recchi. Good offensive power out there for both teams. The defense for the Flyers, Therrien and Desjardins. Puck whipped ahead now for Dvorak. Dvorak tried for Fleury. Fleury able to pull away from Recchi's checking and then had it swatted away by Desjardins. Brought right back out by Mark Recchi. Penalty-free first period thus far. Recchi getting up with snow on his back, having been checked, and we get a stoppage of play.
Well, there's Theo Fleury. There's been a lot of talk in New York about them reuniting Lindros, Fleury, and York. That never happened tonight. Theo Fleury's been through a whirlwind of emotions of late. You see what this guy does at the start of the year. He's a passionate player. He plays with his heart. He goes over the line at times. When he goes over the line, it ends up hurting his team. He takes bad penalties. He gets kicked out of a lot of games. Thus, he's not back in the game when they need him on the power play and offensive situations. So Theo Fleury's got to get his act together. This team needs him desperately if they're going to go anywhere, number one, make the playoffs or go anywhere in the playoffs.
A spirit leader and an offensive leader. They do not have Mark Messier and will not have him for a while. Surgery on his shoulder yesterday. Offside. Let's check in again with Chris Simpson.
Hey guys, you're talking about Theo Fleury. As you said, he's gotten himself into a lot of hot water this week. But one bright spot for Theo came on Thursday when his Rangers teammates actually had a celebration for him in the dressing room, marking the 1-year anniversary of his sobriety. Theo admitted to me before the game that part of his being sober means having to learn how to control his emotions. He just can't numb his feelings the way that he used to. So he knows he's got a long road ahead of him. But he also said he's about 1,000,000 miles from where he was a year ago, sitting in a treatment center. Guys?
Boy, good point. And there are several other players in the NHL now. This was not really dealt with very effectively 10, 15 years ago, but it has been now with such treatment. Scramble at the front of the net, and the puck popped wide.
But a pig pile in front of that net there. Czechmonic can't get up. Big Eric Lindros on top of him.
Trocheck worked over pretty well. That'll cost, and a puck squared around and in. What a crazy set of circumstances. The Rangers have scored the first goal of the game, and Czechmonic is wondering what happened too.
Well, the script couldn't be better for the New York Rangers. Eric Lindros scores the goal, ex-Philadelphia Flyer. Scores a goal that he should score type in front of the net, winning a physical battle. He's been battling with the Philadelphia defenseman right there. Big Therrien, he wins the battle. A puck comes to him, he puts it in the open net. That's great for the Rangers. They've been flat, they needed something to pump them up. Let's look at the Southwest Airline goal cam. Look at this. Czechmonic is down. There's the pig pile I was talking about. Therien's on top of him. Lindros is on top of him. He can't get up. Now he's got no stick. He tries to pick it up. Lindros is getting banged in front of the net. He comes now and one-handed right behind Czechmonic. Actually, Grosek was big on that goal, also winning a physical battle in front of the net also. So great news for the Rangers getting that first goal, because they don't do it very often. Look at this. When Rangers win, when Lindros scores, much, much better record.
His 24th of the year. He was looking up at the replay board, hoping to see it again, and what he saw was himself.
It's always good to see yourself at the other end of the rink, down around the offensive end. And it looks like the Rangers are going to get a power play also. So this could be a big turning point in the game for the New York Rangers. Score a goal and get a power play right after. Bobby Clark's arguing. He's wondering what's going on. They score a goal and we get a penalty. What's going on? This ain't right.
There was a delayed call coming up against the Flyers, but that, of course, gets wiped out with the scoring of the goal. Let's check in with John and John. So Eric Lindros notches the first goal of the game. Roman Czechmonic was handed a minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct for skating practically to center ice to protest all that was going on around him when the goal was scored.
Well, he's got a little bit to protest. There were two guys on top of him, laying on top of him, not letting him up. Eric, being a smart player, just laid there. No need to get up. The goaltender's out of the play. Maybe we can get a lucky bounce and the puck can come to me. So there was a lot of contact in front of the net. Goaltenders are being bumped a lot more now than they were last season with the new open season rule on the goaltenders. And he took umbrage to it, and he ended up costing his team another power play.
Rangers shift to the power play. They are 5 for their last 18, which is great. Overall on the year, not too good, but recently, excellent. This is Leach to the Dvorak, and a shot that was tipped and went up off the glass. Another penalty is coming up, and it will be against the Flyers. Fed to the back to Leach, gave it on a cross, and it ricocheted off of Nedved, and it's cleared back out. So now it'll be a 5-on-3, and it'll be fairly long, a minute 35.
I think it's on Czechmonic again because he knocked Grosek down right in front of the net. Grosek's job on the 5-on-3 is to go right in front of the net and stay there. It's slipping or tripping or slashing right there. But Czechmonic is still angry over the previous play, and Grosek goes in front and he took a hack at Grosek's leg. So Czechmonic is really out of control right now, really angry. The Flyers better talk to him and control him. Let's take a look at it. As I say, Grosek just called up from the Hartford Wolfpack, the American League team. There's the hook on him. Czechmonic is sort of out of control right now. Penalties called right in that situation. Czechmonic is still mad at the referee. Better relax and control this guy. The game is still certainly in the balance here. 1-0 is nothing against the Rangers. You'll get tons of chances to score. Just get that goaltender relaxed.
Happy birthday. I can't recall when, maybe since the days of Ron Hextall, that a goaltender got penalized twice in the same stretch.
And the Rangers now got a 2-minute advantage. You got Leach out there now for a minute and 35 seconds. You got to score in this situation if you're the Rangers. You got to start putting this team away. You cannot let this pass by without a goal being scored for you.
Ron Hextall, longtime Flyer goaltender.
But
his penalties were usually not unsportsmanlike in trips, though.
If it was Ronnie Hextall doing that, Grosek would have been carrying his leg to the bench with him for some quick repairs.
Rob Schick, referee, checking the time up on the board. Only
in their side, so a 5-on-3 is always a momentum switcher, one way or the other.
York and Nedved will be the wingers for Lindros. Fleury, right point. Leach, left point. The Iron Three are Primo, Weinrich, and Kim Janssen, and right on the face.
Oh, yeah.
Is not dropped, but there is some action.
Oh, these two teams don't like each other. And I said right now the Flyers are angry. They feel they've got the short end of the stick. This is actually a good deal for the Philadelphia Flyers. If Primo gets Lindros off the ice for 2 minutes, you take the best player, the best Ranger offensive player, and the guy that's taking the draw off the ice for 2 minutes also. So this is a good move by Keith Primo. Right here you see just both guys trying to get an edge. Lindros puts that head down, gives him a headbutt in the face. Primo, who's 6'5", so you can see how big Eric Lindros is in that situation, as big as Keith Primo. So that's a good move by Primo, getting Lindros off the ice for 2 minutes.
So some snarl in this game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's growing larger. This one tipped on back. The other games weren't that peaceful either. They were won 4-2 by the home team, once in Philadelphia, once in New York. Leach a shot. That one looked like it had popped around and in, but it must have rattled off the post.
Well, the referee never made any motion, waved it off, or said it was in, so I'm sure that'll be reviewed.
Leach hands it across now to Fleury on this 5-on-3 that's got a little over a minute to go. Leach walks it further, gave it across to Fleury, worked in deep now. Pivoting off was Nedved, got it back to Fleury, then over to Leach again. Leach across to Fleury, then Leach, they move in further. Side of the net, it's handed over for York. A shot, say rebound up off another crossbar. And now Fleury a shot. That one's knocked down. Battled for to the boards, and the Flyers are able to clear. Oh my.
The Flyers are playing guys off the sides, and Czechmonic is hurt. He never got up after that scramble in front of the net. After he made the saves and the puck hit the post, he stayed on the ice even after it was cleared out of the zone. He never did get up.
Brian Boucher is the backup goalkeeper this afternoon.
There was a ton of traffic in this game. You saw the first goal that was scored. Eric Lindros was on top of him for about 10-15 seconds. So let's take a look at it. Good movement here. You get the triangle moving. Good shot. This is the one that was deflected. Definitely off the crossbar, not into the net. Czechmonic is fine there. He gets up, ready to play again. Let's look at it. York Mays the play. There's the second one by Dvorak off the post. Again, you see Czechmonic moving. Let's see if we can pick up where he finally gets hurt in this situation. Following the puck, it finally gets knocked out. And right there, he's awkwardly going up and down. He never does get up right there, folks. Puck is cleared out, and that's where he wants to get attention by the bench and from the referee. So he did split his legs there a couple times awkwardly, and he's a big man. Czechmonic is a big goaltender, obviously in a lot of pain.
Oh boy. John Worley, the athletic trainer for the Flyers, out there tending to him. You look at the time in
the dressing room like this, obviously in a lot of pain.
So it will be Brian Boucher, 25-year-old from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, who changed the last time they met in Philadelphia in January. The Philadelphia reaction you heard to Eric Lindros coming back for the first time. This was the warm-up. Matthew Barnaby, Theo Fleury, Todd Fedoruk.
That's old-time hockey, Mike.
It was interesting that both teams brought 23 players out for the warm-up. You can only dress 20 for the game, but you can dress as many as you want for the warm-up. And then this is what we've seen here, and the shove by Roenick is what has drawn the penalty. No other penalties beside that, though.
Well, the Rangers better get going because they blew a golden opportunity on the 5-on-3 with a cold goalie coming in, and now they get another power play. You know the Flyers are going to get some chances to score, so they got to get some goals here and get a lead.
Roenick the cross-check at 14:42. Thrown all the way to the point for Fleury. Shoots one in front that might have been a pass, but is taken off nonetheless by the Flyers and walked on by Primo. Got it over now to Mark Recchi. Spun one for Primo, but it hit off his skate boot and is outletted by Leach. Brought back on by Michael Groshek. Looks ahead for Lindros. Gave it for Leach. Tipped across to Fleury. Score!
Well, Mike, I'm scared. I'm a little afraid that Brian Boucher looked cold on this goal. It went side to side, and that's a tough thing for a goalie to do. Groshek was getting a ton of ice time just up from Hartford, and Theo just shoots it right along the ice. As a matter of fact, I think Brian even got a piece of this puck as it was going in. There's the pass. He catches it, throws it at the net, and you got to cheer for him, folks. He does a lot of stupid stuff. He makes a lot of people mad, but boy, he's got a heart. He plays with passion every night, and you got to cheer for guys that play with passion. There's not enough of those guys in any sport.
Now that was an impressive number you saw about how the Rangers are when Fleury gets a point. There's another number that eventually we'll get to that shows the opposite of it. And you really can assess the importance that he has. And it's not just cold statistics.
No,
I think you put the flesh on it.
Yes, it is. This guy's special. You can teach guys to control their temper. You can't give those guys energy and passion. You can always teach them to temper it. You can't give it to them when they don't have it. Theo's got it. He's just got to learn to control it more.
So now it is a 2-0 New York Ranger lead. This one sailed in by Brashear and set up behind by Richter.
Well, Mike, we've both been around hockey a long time, and both of us know the Flyers are going to get probably a 5-on-3 this game, and the Flyers will get some power plays coming up.
We'll see what happens here with Fleury in full strength action, working it ahead for Dvorak, who was crunched by Dan McGillis. Now Fleury tried to center while skidding across the ice on the seat of his britches, but it's brought back ahead now by Richardson and outletted to Gagne, then to Justin Williams. Back ahead Gagne, and he's hit to the wall but keeps going. Nice move by Gagne to jam one across the net mouth wide. Now McGillis flipping a bouncer. Side of the net, it's Roenick. Roenick to McGillis and a shot that went wide. Rebound up with it again is McGillis, pivoting and trying to shake the checking. Working it back for Roenick, but it goes all the way to center, where it can be walked ahead, though Dvorak was spun off hard by Richardson's check. Healthy hitting taking place. A shove on Fleury by Williams after Fleury had hit him, and now Fleury is yelling at the referee for no call.
That's a Theo we know and love right there, folks. Can that line for the Flyers skate? Gagne, Williams, and Roenick.
Healthy hit by Mark Recchi, and Klocek is just now getting up. Primo throws one in front. Lindros blocked it. Recchi knocked down, and a penalty coming up to the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
What wonderful chaos.
We got people fighting behind the net. We got people laying on their belly in front of the net. We got Theo Fleury yelling at the referee on the bench. We got passion. We got excitement all over this building, folks. There's Theo. One of the things he says, if people can do stuff to him that doesn't get called, if he does it to someone else, it's always called. There he finishes a hit on Williams. Williams gives him a little extra from behind. Theo goes bonkers to the referee, telling him, if I would have done that, I'd be in the penalty box. So he goes right to the bench. Now we see the cross-check, definitely a cross-check by Kluchek. So we got action everywhere. Theo's still angry. He's got the helmet off so the referee can make sure he knows what he's saying. Nothing muffled coming out from underneath that mask. But I'll tell you, the Rangers got to be careful because the referees know that the Flyers have had a lot of penalties called against them. The Rangers can't self-destruct now and do something stupid on their part.
Coming up at the end of the period, stay with ABC for the Michelin Intermission Report. John Saunders, John Davidson come your way from our New York studios. Jeremy
on the bench. Theo, I love what you're doing. You're playing hard. You're playing great. Just make sure you don't do anything stupid to hurt the club. Use this passion for good instead of evil, he's telling them.
Rattled in. Topped on, but held by McGillis for a drive, and that went off Richter and then hit the boards as Malakoff accidentally bumped into his goalkeeper. Now around the wall it's sent for Primo, turns it on to John Leclerc. Desjardins had pinched in from the right side, now moves back to the point position as you watch Recchi play. Helped on back to Dan McGillis, hands over to Desjardins. Back to McGillis again, wrist shot, and that one deflected wide by Dvorak and chipped along, but helped by McGillis back to Desjardins. Eric Desjardins looking over the traffic, handing it on to Primo, then to Recchi. Wedged off the play, and here's a drive by Desjardins that flapped wildly. Now it's dealt back in deep again by McGillis, but Recchi couldn't come up with a play. And cleared.
Mike, I think we're both sitting here saying, why don't the Flyers have a better power play? It's only 14.1%, which is one of the lowest in the NHL.
A steal and nearly a score by York. They battle at the side of the net and still trying to dig it out, and the Flyers do come up with it, but throw it back down the ice. Berard dropped it, but he gave it to Gagne. Gagne on back to the point. It's handed over to Janssen again. Janssen hands it across. Weinrich waits. Janssen pulled the trigger and hit off the outside of the net near the post. Well, why not? Janssen again. Save made by Richter. Rebound battled for to the corner. Gagne. Gotten by the Rangers and cleared back out with 25 still to go.
The best penalty killer in the world is your goaltender. Mike Richter makes two great saves there, and what's more important, he kicks the rebounds to the sides. Good goalies always get it to the side.
Shot by Recchi, blocked to the glass by Dave Karpa. Another penalty coming up, and it'll be against the Rangers. Out in front, and we get the stoppage of play. 4 seconds of a 5-on-3 now to come up for the Flyers. As a double agent, she knew her own life was at risk, but now her friend will pay the price.
York just out-hustles the Philadelphia defenseman. Boucher again looks a little rusty there. Miscommunication, and very lucky York doesn't come around and jam that in on the short side for a shorthanded goal. So the Flyers are playing with a little bit of fire here, Mike. They got to pick up their game level because the Rangers know they got to be great to beat this good Flyer team.
They'll set up for this offensive zone faceoff. That certainly favors the Flyers, who have only 4 seconds to work with. 3 and a fraction. It shows 4 on the board and 3 there. But the Rangers got it and cleared it, so that takes care of the 5-on-3, and now it's just the basic 5-on-4.
DePita's got to win that draw there. 4 seconds left on a 5-on-3. You got lots of time to set it up and score, so that was not a good move by Yuri DePita.
Janssen rattled it around. Roenick jabbed it further. Ricocheted off a stick that could be played by Gagne, though stolen by Brian Leetch and cleared, though not out. He tests with Gagne on the half boards. Little help for him from Malakoff, who shuffled it across now for Malhotra, cross-bodied by Roenick. To the point it comes now for Janssen again, down to the last 5 seconds of the period. Weinrich back to Janssen. Janssen again holding, and the buzzer will sound. And the first period comes to a close.
Right at the end, the Flyer defenseman did not know how much time was on the clock. They did not get it to the front of the net where they had traffic in front.
Coming out, the Michelin Intermission Report with John Saunders. Start of the second period. What a whirlwind for Olympic gold medalist Sarah Hughes. She participated in the ceremonial face-off today, but from Salt Lake Gold to a Wheaties box to meeting Keith Primo and Brian Leetch before the game, a couple of pretty good skaters in their own right. but the judges wear stripes here and not all sorts of other garb as they...
The best in the world.
Well, we're glad that you can be here today to root them on.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here and cheer them on.
Sarah, thanks very much.
Oh, thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Chris. Penalty coming up as Michael York went down, so both teams will be short for a moment. Sarah's yet to decide if she'll compete at the upcoming World Figure Skating Championships. Michelle Kwan on ABC Sports will be there as coverage begins Thursday night, March 21st, right here on ABC.
Well, who could hate Sarah Hughes? She said that they were scared that they'd hate her in between periods. I don't think that would be very possible. Right there you see Kim Janssen, a guy that came over from the New York Rangers in the Eric Lindros trade. He's been great for the Flyers. They love him, what he's added to the team. They call him a young Niklas Lidstrom. He's getting all the facets. Right here you see York get a step on him. Little double Salchow right there. He goes down. Janssen's in the penalty box. 4-on-4 hockey.
Boy, you just brought everything to the fore here.
Thank you.
Salchow. Was that occasionally a Winnipeg defensive move too?
That's when one of your cows gets in a bad mood. You have a Salchow.
And goes and run after the pig, right?
That's a Salchow. Exactly.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we hastily get to the fact that both teams are a man short. Early stages, second period. Puck chipped back on, and it went right to Keith Primo. Primo nubbed it around behind, and trying to get to it was Recchi. Held off very well, though, by Lefebvre. Meanwhile, the battle continues. Lefebvre this time working on Primo. Lefebvre given a good crunch by a very aggressive Mark Recchi today. Might be a 2-on-1, and it is. Ahead they come. Berard moving in. Save made by Boucher.
Well, you saw two great defensive plays made by the Philadelphia Flyers. It was the 2-on-1. The Flyer defenseman Terrion realized it was a 2-on-1. He took the pass away. Berard knew he could not make the pass across to the other Ranger player coming with him on the 2-on-1. And Boucher knew all he had to do was take the shooter. Right here, Terrion does a great job. Berard sees there's no pass. Boucher plays the shooter the way he should. That is a goalie's job on a 2-on-1, stopping the shooter. Terrion's job is to make sure the pass doesn't get across. Southwest Airline goal cam, look at it. Boucher plays it perfectly, although not probably technically perfect, but the puck is stopped, which is all that matters if you're an NHL goaltender.
Up to the point, Berard dropped it further, but the Flyers have it. We're down to the last 25 of the 4-on-4, and then it will be a Ranger power play. Mike Richter grabbing this one. Vladimir Malikov from the Russian Olympic team of this year and the 92 Unified team that won gold. Watches this play develop ahead. Unable to swagger through was Berard. We're down to the last Nicholsworth now of the penalty that remains to Dave Karpa. Yuri Depita brings it ahead. Pounding his stick on the ice, Brian Boucher to alert his team to the fact that they are now going to be shorthanded compared to the Rangers. Back on with this is York, but he lost it and then tripped up Justin Williams, who looked directly at the referee hoping for something that he didn't get. 38 to go on the power play. Rangers have improved in that department, and today's good as Leach sends a head-hunting shot against the glass. York put it around behind, and Leach there tried for Lindros, but he couldn't get it, so York has it now. Fires the flip and score! Lindros on a tip on a drive by York, and it's 3-0.
Well, the Ranger power play's been going today, Mike, because they've been shooting the puck. He showed it on the shot sheet we just put up there, how they're throwing the puck at the net. Boucher does not have a chance on this. He goes into the butterfly to take the bottom of the net away, but Big Eric's in front of the net. York throws it at the net, and Eric gets a tip in. Right there, Eric's right there. You see him bounce it. It bounces right over Boucher's pad. Not much you can do in your goaltender. Good job by York. He has to shoot it high enough to get over the guys that are coming out at him, and Eric just gets a stick on it, drops it right down underneath the pads of Boucher. So great deflection, good execution on the power play. York makes the play happen by shooting, but there's no goal if Eric's not in front of the net for the deflection. You cannot move a man that big and strong when he's in front of the net. The Flyers don't even try. Actually, Richardson's just fronting him to try and take the pass away from him, but on a deflection like that, Richardson can't do anything else, and Boucher can't do anything else.
11th power play goal for Lindros, third multiple goal game of the season, second of the afternoon, third of the season against the Flyers. York gets the primary assist on the goal at 1:53. Here they come again. York with a hurried shot that deflected wide, and it's taken now by Janssen. Janssen hands back on to Jeremy Roenick, advances it for Gagne, but it's broken up in another 2-on-1. Here's York across. Score! It's Lindros with the hat trick, and it's 4-0.
Well, Mike, you're a student of history, so I know you know this, that that's only the third time an ex-Philadelphia Flyer player has scored a hat trick against the Flyers when he's come back. Eric Lindros has scored it 3 different ways. Scramble in front of the net, tip in front of the net, and now a great one-timer on a 2-on-1 on a great play created by Michael York on a turnover in the neutral zone. The Rangers needed Eric Lindros to come to the forefront today. They needed his talent. They're going to need him the rest of the season if this team's going to make the playoffs, and today he's giving it to him. There's all the hats, and in New York, Mike, you get some great hats thrown on the ice because this crowd's got a lot of cash. There's no poor hats in New York. Always brand new Ranger hats, brand new fire department, police department hats. Second hat trick of the season. But again, York makes this play happen on a turnover by JR. There's that 2-2 defensive system work. Now Eric gets in the transition. York freezes him. And right there you see Janssen is not in the passing lane. He lets the pass go across. Boucher, who's concentrating on York, has to go across. And Eric makes a perfect shot. Great execution. Rangers are getting the job done today, Mike.
Well, it sure didn't look like they were going to in the first 10 minutes of this game, but did they ever turn it around on Lindros' first goal? There you see his ranking with a lot of legends.
That is a great group of players, boy.
Killed off